My name is Judge Dredd, and today I will debate justice and order with 20 crime bosses. My first claim is that crime bosses don't fill gaps in the system. They create them and then sell the solution.
I look at Corleone history. When I began, the streets had no order. Thieves robbed freely. Murders killed without consequence. The police did not protect people because they were paid to ignore crime. I created order. Yes, I profited. But the community I protected paid less than they paid the police. The police took their money and offered nothing. I took their money and offered safety. Tell me, Judge, how is that creating a problem? That is solving one.
That community existed before you arrived. The disorder was the natural state of that place. You did not solve it. You exploited it. You told people you would protect them if they paid. They had no choice because the law had failed. But you made sure the law failed. You paid off police. You intimidated witnesses. You broke judges. You actively prevented the system from working. Then you sold protection from the chaos you created.
The judges were already broken. I worked within a system that was already corrupt. You say I prevented the law from working, but the law was not working. It was working for the police who took bribes. It was working for politicians who ignored crime. I simply made it honest. I took money openly. I offered protection directly. That honesty is better than the law's hypocrisy. The law pretends to work for everyone. I worked for those who could afford it.
Honesty requires transparency. You operated in shadows. You killed people without trials. You disappeared witnesses. The law operates in open courts where evidence is examined. Where defense exists, you created a system where only you had power. That is not honesty. That is tyranny. Yes, some judges were corrupt, but I execute corrupt judges. The system corrects itself. Your system only corrects itself by replacing you with someone more ruthless. My second claim is that crime organizations protect people who pay you and punish the ones who don't. That isn't justice.
You have an entire city funding your operation, billions in tax money, thousands of judges' weapons, infrastructure. A poor neighborhood has none of that. They cannot afford real judges, cannot afford real police, so they come to me. I use the resources I have. If they pay, I protect them. If they do not pay, I do not protect them. That is not injustice. That is economics. The law operates the same way. Rich people hire expensive lawyers. Poor people get overworked public defenders. Both systems discriminate.
Justice cannot be a commodity. The moment it is, it stops being justice. It becomes service. A service you control. A judge enforces law on everyone, rich and poor, powerful and weak. A crime boss enforces loyalty on everyone, rich and poor, powerful and weak. But loyalty is not justice. Loyalty is obligation. You extracted resources from the poor, built an army, then told them they needed you.
You claim judges are equal, but judges serve power structures too. They serve the state that benefits the rich, the state that ignores crime in wealthy areas, the state that floods poor areas with arrests. You are not above politics. You are politics. At least my family knows where the power comes from. We know the rules. We negotiate within them. Your system claims neutrality while enforcing the powerful's interests. That is worse than honesty about power.
The law can be corrupted, true, but the law has built-in corrections, trials, appeals, oversight. Your system has one correction: replacement through violence. A judge who becomes corrupt can be executed. Your successor is determined by who kills you. That is not accountability. My next claim is that crime organizations keep communities weak, so they have to rely on you instead of the law.
You say I keep them weak, but weak means they cannot fight back. They accept what I give them. I provide jobs. Drugs, yes, but jobs? A young man in my territory can earn money, feed his family. Without me, he has nothing. The government offers him nothing. The law offers him nothing, so he works for me.
You provide jobs that destroy the community. A young man who sells drugs becomes a drug dealer. That path ends in arrest or death. You know this. You plan for this. You cycle through workers like ammunition, each one disposable. The government fails to provide legitimate jobs. True, but you actively prevent legitimate development. You pay off developers to stay away. You threaten entrepreneurs. You keep the territory impoverished so the only available work is for you.
I keep developers away because development brings gentrification, brings police, brings displacement of the community I am protecting. A young man I employ stays in his neighborhood, stays with family. Development would push him out, replace him with wealthy people. I preserve the community while you claim to improve it. Your improvement means erasure.
You preserve communities in amber, frozen, controlled. Real development creates opportunity, creates choice. A young man in a developed neighborhood can become a doctor, can become an engineer, can escape poverty. In your preserved community, he becomes a criminal or dies. You call that preservation. I call it imprisonment. The fact that you need to threaten developers proves the community does not actually want you. If people truly preferred your control, development would not threaten your territory. The threat proves you maintain control through force, not consent. My next claim is that, when the law fails, it answers for it. When you fail, you make people disappear.
The law answers for failure by investigating itself, by creating commissions, by writing reports. Years pass, nothing changes. A judge makes a mistake and a man dies. The judge retires and lives comfortably. The family of the dead man receives a settlement and closure never comes. When I fail, the failure is corrected immediately. A lieutenant fails to follow orders. He does not work again. That is accountability, not the slow bureaucratic denial of the law's failures. My organization learns from failure because failure is not tolerated. The law tolerates endless failure.
Accountability requires understanding what went wrong, why it went wrong, how to prevent it. Your system skips understanding. You kill the person and move forward. That means the same mistake happens again because you never analyzed why it happened. The law moves slowly. True. But the law creates precedent, creates written doctrine, creates improvement. Your system creates corpses.
My system creates stability. A person knows exactly what happens if he fails. He works harder. The organization runs smoother. The law creates ambiguity. A person does not know if he will be prosecuted or protected. He takes risks. The organization becomes chaotic. You call my system fear-based, but fear is the most reliable motivator. Love of justice is not. Most people do not love justice. They fear consequences. My system is built on truth. The law is built on fiction.
Fear-based systems work until the feared person dies. Then everything collapses. Your organization survives through continued fear of you. The moment you are gone, it fragments. Someone kills your successor. Someone kills the next. A law-based system outlasts every judge. The law persists. That persistence is what makes it superior. Your stability is personal. When you die, the territory becomes chaos. Law enforcement continues, justice continues. My next claim is that every shortcut the crime organization offers today creates a bigger problem tomorrow for society at large.
A businessman operates on timelines. Short-term, medium-term, long-term. You say every shortcut creates problems. But sometimes the problem avoided today is more important than the problem created tomorrow. A family needs protection now. The long-term legal process will not protect them now, so I protect them now. They are safe for years, maybe decades. When the problems emerge, I manage them. The family lived decades of safety. That is worth the future cost. You would rather they suffer now for theoretical safety later.
Time purchased through crime creates compounding debt. A family accepts your protection, then you ask them to do a favor. Hide a criminal, testify falsely, commit a crime. They are now indebted. That debt compounds. Their children inherit the debt. Generations are trapped. The short-term safety you provided created long-term servitude. The law's process is slow, but it creates no debt. No.
The law creates its own debts. A person accused must hire a lawyer, expensive. They go into debt to pay legal fees. If they lose, they go to prison. Their family loses income. That debt is legal, but it is still debt. The difference between legal debt and criminal debt is the form, not the substance. Both trap families.
Legal debt can be discharged. An innocent man acquitted owes nothing. A guilty man convicted serves time and is released. His debt is paid. Your debt is never paid. A man who pays you today pays you tomorrow and tomorrow and tomorrow. The debt grows because you create new situations requiring new payments. Legal debt has an end. Your debt is designed to be eternal.